found that even that smaller figure is a large, wild exaggeration. So he said his big, beautiful bill included no tax on Social Security. Didn't do that. He said, again, grocery prices are down. No, they're up. They're up 2.7% year over year as of September.
All right, guys, we had a pretty notable Trump cabinet meeting with affordability getting called a Democrat scam and Hegseth refusing to own up to killing civilians after a double down boat strike. But CNN had a fact checker do my job for me. So I thought, let's go after that instead and see what context we can add to it. If you can, leave us a like on the video. We want to get to 30,000 subscribers, and let's just get right in.
He said that he's cutting prescription drug prices by 500% to 900%. He said that's something nobody's ever heard of. Well, nobody's ever heard of it because those numbers don't make mathematical sense. If there was a reduction of more than 100%, Americans would get paid to acquire their medications, which is not happening. He could tout some actual reductions in the prices of a smattering of drugs, but they're not more than 100%, and that's certainly not widespread. He said, again, grocery prices are down. No, they're up. They're up 2.7% year over year as of September, 1.4% from the month he returned to office in January. So up, not down. He said since last January, we've stopped inflation in its tracks. Well, the inflation rate in September, the most recent we had, was 3% year over year. That is the exact same as it was in January. And September was the 5th consecutive month the year over year rate had increased.
Okay, so we'll touch on each one of these every time. The medicine costs coming down 500%, I think perfectly sums up MAGA. Like, none of them know what they're talking about often, especially not with economics, but they like Trump. So whatever he says, they'll pretend makes sense and then pretend that they'll get it and do like post hoc research centered around coming to the conclusion that Trump has stated, because there's no other way he's still getting away with something so clearly stupid. If Biden said anything of the sort, Fox News would have ran that for 3 weeks as Biden dementia. Not only are we seeing grocery prices go up, but you can expect this to only get worse. Trump's trade policy is massively hurting farmers. We've covered this multiple times on the channel. He might have to do another bailout soon. There's a good chance prices will keep going up until then, if not until even after that, with the lasting effects, the kind of shock we see these prices often not come down once they go up. If not, again, I mean, like, what kind of solutions is Trump really offering to this? And on inflation, he clearly has no solution either, because he made this huge boogeyman. They didn't have much talking points against Biden, so they had to do something. Global inflation was a problem. That was a thing, and he has no solutions for it. Now his policies actually make it worse, so he's hoping the Biden thing will still work. With the elections this year, it's kind of showing it's not really working for you, bud.
He said he inherited the worst inflation in history. No, again, he inherited 3% inflation. Even the peak Biden era inflation, Dana, 9.1% in June 2022, was not close to the all-time record. He said we're now at about $2.50 for gasoline. You can find some stations today where gas is $2.50 or less, but the national average was right around exactly $3, so significantly higher than he said. He said his big, beautiful bill included no tax on Social Security. Didn't do that. It temporarily increased the standard deduction for seniors, but didn't fulfill his campaign pledge to completely eliminate tax on Social Security.
Trump has kind of made it so easy to be a Republican and win. I actually fear for the candidates we're going to get going forward, because truly, none of these people will ever read any bills, check back on them down the line, read into context, etc. It's literally this simple for them. Trump says he'll do a thing. We like that thing. We vote for Trump. Trump then says he did said thing. So then it must be done. No fact checking required, none of that. Like, not only is no tax on Social Security in the bill at all, it was completely left in the dust. It was just a fabricated lie. And they never even tried, right? It's not even like they tried to get it through. While, of course, all the rich guy tax cuts made it through. But the rich guy tax cuts are also permanent, while once again, the tax cuts for the middle class are all temporary. No tax on tips, for instance, expires before 2028. You fell for it again, MAGA.
And in boasting about his supposed economic success, he said again that he secured over $18 trillion in investment since returning to office in January. That number is about double the number the White House's own website uses. That website uses 9.6 trillion. I went through that number line by line based on the White House's supposed figures, found that even that smaller figure is a large, wild exaggeration. So,
not to mention that 18 or 19 trillion dollars is over half of our GDP, which in and of itself is a non-starter in terms of the realistic, if that's like even a possibility. And it would probably be inflationary if it did happen anyway. But when you don't know what causes inflation, or probably inflation really even this, you just know to hate it and to blame Biden and Democrats for it, well, then something like this sounds great and totally realistic, which is wild to me that so many of Trump's talking points rely on the assumption that nobody listening will have any idea what he's talking about, his supporters that is, and that in the same breath, his supporters won't believe those that do know what he's talking about enough to call him out for it and prove him wrong because they're woke fake news. They've really created the perfect political paradox for stupid people.